Good morning, students. Let us study today some properties of crystalline solids and amorphous solids. Crystalline solids have a sharp melting point. At a characteristic temperature, they melt abruptly and become liquid like sodium chloride. That means ordinary salt. If we melt it, if we heat ordinary salt, then it will melt at a fixed temperature. On the other hand, amorphous solids like rubber soften. First they soften, then melt and start flowing over a range of temperature and can be molded and blown into various shapes like rubber and plastics. We are using some plastic beakers, so we can melt them. If we heat, they melt, soften, melt, start flowing over a range of temperature and can be molded and blown into various shapes. Amorphous solids have the same structure features as liquids and are conveniently regarded as extremely viscous liquids. Like glycerin, it is viscous liquid. Like that, they are also extremely viscous liquids. They may become crystalline at some temperature. Some glass objects from ancient civilizations are found to become milky in appearance because of some crystallization. Like liquids, amorphous solids have a tendency to flow. So this is a property of amorphous solids. They have tendency to flow through a very slowly, though very slowly. Therefore, sometimes these are called pseudo solids. Not they are tight, but if we melt them, then they will be converted in liquid. So they are known as pseudo solids or super cooled liquids. If we cool them, then they will change into solid. Amorphous solids are isotropic in nature. Their properties such as mechanical strength, refractive index and electrical conductivity etc. are same in all directions. This means isotropic in nature. They have same properties like mechanical strength, refractive index and electrical conductivity. So they are electric conductivity etc. are same in all directions. It is because there is no long range order in them and arrangement of particles is not definite along all the directions. That is why they are isotropic in nature. Hence the overall arrangement becomes equivalent in all directions. Overall arrangement becomes equivalent in all directions. Therefore, value of any physical property would be same along any direction. This is about amorphous solids. Now, crystalline solids are anisotropic in nature. That is, some of their physical properties like electrical resistance or refractive index show different values when measured along different directions in the same crystal. A crystal is here in figure 1.2. This arises from different arrangement of particles in different directions. See, there are two types of particles. One pink color balls, another blue color balls. So this is a crystal. There are two type of particles. If we take a axis, AB axis, then you can see blue color balls are there arranged systematically. But if we take this axis, CD axis, then we can see a systematic arrangement of particles, but in this way: one pink ball, one blue ball, one pink ball, one blue ball, in this way. So arrangement of particles different along this axis, along CD axis, but along AB axis you will get all the blue particles are arranged systematically. Anisotropy in crystal is due to different arrangement of particles along different directions. You can take like this another axis. Crystal solids are anisotropic in nature, that is, some of their physical properties like electrical resistance or refractive index show different values when measured along different directions in the same crystal. This arises from different arrangement of particles in different directions. This is illustrated in figure 1.2. This figure shows a simple two-dimensional pattern of arrangements of two kinds of atoms. Mechanical property such as resistance to shearing stress might be quite different in two directions. If we compress them, then you will get different strength indicated in the figure. Deformation in CD direction displays row which has two different types of atoms, one pink, one blue, pink, blue, while in AB direction rows made of one type of atoms, only blue atoms, are displaced. The differences between the crystalline solids and amorphous solids are summarized in table 1.1. Let us see table 1.1. Table 1.1, distinction between crystalline and amorphous solids. Here are properties: crystalline solids and amorphous solids. Shape: definite characteristic geometrical shape like NaCl, ordinary salt, or glass. Not glass but quartz. Here amorphous solids, irregular shape like rubber. If we melt them, they can take different type of shapes. Next, second property, melting point. Crystalline solids melt at a sharp and characteristic temperature. Here amorphous solids gradually soften over a range of temperature. Not a fixed temperature but a range of temperature. Cleavage property. What is cleavage property? Let us see. When cut with a sharp edged tool, they split into two pieces and the newly generated surfaces are plain and smooth. Amorphous solids, when cut with a sharp edged tool, they cut into two pieces with irregular surfaces. Their surfaces are not smooth and plain but irregular surfaces. So this is the difference between crystalline solids and amorphous solids. Heat of fusion. They have a definite and characteristic enthalpy of fusion. For amorphous solids, they do not have definite enthalpy of fusion. Anisotropy. anisotropic in nature. Crystalline solids are anisotropic in nature, but amorphous solids, they are isotropic in nature. Next, nature, true solids like NaCl and quartz. But here amorphous solids, they are pseudo solids or supercooled liquids. Order in arrangement of constituent particles. Long range order, here only short range order. Next, besides crystalline and amorphous solids, there are some solids which are apparently appear amorphous but have microcrystalline structures. These are called polycrystalline solids. Metals often occur in polycrystalline conditions. Metals like copper, aluminium in this way. Individual crystals are randomly oriented, so a metallic sample may appear to be isotropic even though a single crystal is anisotropic. Single crystal is anisotropic, but a metal, individual crystals are randomly oriented, so metallic sample may appear to be isotropic even though a single crystal is anisotropic. Next, amorphous solids are used for materials, glass, rubber and plastics. You can see in today life we use many plastic utensils. Find many applications in our daily lives. Amorphous silicon is one of the best photovoltaic material available for conversion of sunlight into electricity. Next is in-text questions. First question is, why are solids rigid? So, in solids, the constituent particles have fixed positions and can oscillate only about their mean positions. That is why they are rigid. Second, why do solids have a definite volume? Answer is, the constituent particles in the solid have fixed position and strong forces of attraction between them. Hence, they cannot move and oscillate only about their mean positions. Hence, solid have fixed volume. Third, classify the following as amorphous or crystalline solids: polyurethane, naphthalene, benzoic acid, Teflon, potassium nitrate, cellophane, polyvinyl chloride, fiberglass, copper. So first, crystalline solids: benzoic acid, potassium nitrate, copper, naphthalene. Amorphous solids: polyurethane, Teflon, cellophane, polyvinyl chloride, fiberglass. Next, fourth question. Refractive index of a solid is observed to have the same value along all directions. Comment on the nature of this solid. Would it show cleavage property? That means if we cut that solid with a sharp edge tool, then will it be a plane surface? As refractive index is same in all directions, the solid is isotropic and hence it is amorphous. So, it will not show cleavage property. So, next we will do in next session. Okay, thank you.